to the 9-3. Let's talk Chicago Bears. Oh my God, what a day. Can you believe we beat them? So, I promised all season, every time the Bears win, I'm going to sing the touchdown song, which I call the victory song, and I don't like it, but that's okay, because we won. So everybody, get with me. I want you singing it along with me. Are you ready? Set the bear down, Chicago Bears. Make every play, clear the way to victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up a fight with the might so fearlessly. Never let them forget the way you thrilled the nation with your T formation. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Let them know why you're wearing the crown. You're the pride and joy of Illinois. Chicago Bears, bear down. Right on. Wasn't that awesome game yesterday? I mean, I just don't even know what to say. It was so great. I told my son on Thanksgiving, we were talking about it, and I said, it's going to be a tough game. And I said to my son and the relatives I was with on Thursday, I said, they have to play a near perfect game to win this game. And that's exactly what they did, right? So first of all, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We had a very nice Thanksgiving here in Vegas. It was a beautiful day. And the only bad thing is the Packers won. But that's okay, because the Bears beat the Eagles yesterday and made them look bad, didn't they? I mean, this is such a great feeling. I forgot how much fun it is to win again. It's been since 18 since we've won anything. And then prior to that, it was like, 2012 with Lovie Smith, his last year. I think that was his last year. So it is a long time coming, and we're just getting started. And the thing is, I never thought we would be like this. I was hoping for a 500 record, although we still got 5 games left, and they're tough, the toughest left. So I know Cleveland's in there. People say that we should win that game, but they've got a very good defense. And San Francisco, you can't take them lightly either. But then we've got 2 Green Bays and 1 Detroit. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But man, oh man, is this awesome. So first of all, a couple shout outs. First of all, I want to thank everybody. I had a lot of people tune into my show on Monday. And thank you. I just love seeing that people are watching me. I mean, I'm 67. I'm here. I moved to Vegas. I am a huge Bears fan, 50 plus years. So really, thank you so much. And I want to give a couple shout outs. One to Fuzzy in Tennessee. Hi, Fuzzy. It's Aunt Lynn. And to my brother, Scott. I love you, man. Watch my show. Hopefully that'll make you laugh, but don't laugh too hard because I know it hurts. But go Bears, right, buddy? And so let's get into it. Although there was one little note I wanted to just throw in here. It has nothing to do with the Bears game, but I thought it was interesting. So, there was 3 games on Thanksgiving, and we were watching them. And it just dawned on me. I was like, gosh, has every team played on Thanksgiving? And it turns out there's 1 team out of 32 teams that are the only ones that never played on Thanksgiving Day. Does anybody know what it is? Who they are? Can't hear you. Jacksonville. Yep. Jacksonville is the only team that has not played on Thanksgiving. That's interesting, isn't it? So, but their problem, not ours. So, I will say, before I get into some of the stats, when you're watching your team play in the other players' stadium in Philly, which is the hard stadium to win in, and in the beginning of the fourth quarter, well, actually they started exiting some in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then when the Bears scored that touchdown comment, everybody made the exits, and towards the end of the game, there wasn't anybody in the stands. And that is awesome, isn't it? Isn't that just cool? Man, does that say your players played one hell of a game. So let's get into it. Now, remember, we are still missing a lot of keys on defense, but it really showed how much having number 1 JJ back and number 6 Gordon back in the backfield, because that was one of the reasons why Hurts could not complete some of those passes, because they were covered. And having them back was huge. Now, we still were missing Edmonds, who was on IR, our leading tackler on the team, linebacker. We still miss Edwards. We've got to get Edwards back from Lake Villa. And Swell, we got to get him back. So those linebackers, and Hippolyte, who is a backup to the linebackers that were out, he was out. So, and then we also had Robinson, our D-line, number 90. He was out with a concussion. And Stevenson, our backfield guy, number 29, he's got a hip problem. So if we could get these guys back, or some of them, moving forward, it will just get that defense better and better, because they are starting to gel, and we know we've got a tough schedule coming up. So I'm just going to do a little stats, not a whole lot comparison, just to show you what the day was like. So the Bears had 425 total yards to the Eagles 317. Awesome. The only thing they beat us in was passing. We only had 144 yards in the air. They had 230. Cabe did not obviously have his best game, but who cares? He did it when he needed to. And then, of course, our rush game, holy crap. I just couldn't believe this, how they were rushing on them. I never saw this coming. 281 yards between our running backs to 87 rushing yards for the Eagles, and they have Saquon Barkley. Our defense did a real good job shutting him down. I don't always talk about third down conversions, but I thought this is a good mention. The Bears were 10 of 17. We're not bad at all, but this is the good stat. Eagles were 4 of 12 on third down conversion, which says an awful lot about the defense. That's a good stat for the defense. You want to remember that, because that's really says a lot, because they could not convert on third down, and that just changes everything when that happens. They forced several 3-and-outs on the Eagles. So, the D has got a few things, but they're coming together, and we see improvement each and every week. Remember, this team, when they started at the beginning of the season, they had a whole new coaching staff. They had some new guys, not a lot on defense, but a few, and a new defensive coordinator, and it takes a while to learn his schemes and what he wants to do, and it's starting to happen. Third, in the red zone, the Bears were 2 of 3, which is much better, because 5-6 games ago they were not converting, and Eagles were 1 of 2 in the red zones. The Bears, happy about this. You know my rule, 5 or less penalties, and you have a good chance to win that game. They had 4. So, and a couple of them, I will tell you, I'm not going to explain them, but they did hurt them, but they came back and overcame them, and the Eagles had 7, and those hurt the Eagles. That was for sure. Time of possession, again, huge, because the Bears were 39 minutes to the Eagles 20 minutes, meaning it's quite obvious our offense is on the field, their defense is on the field, and you're wearing them down, and that kept Hurts and Barkley off the field, and that is just huge. 2 turnovers by the Bears, and we had 1 turnover by Cabe. That was I'm not sure that was on. I didn't like the call at all. They should have run it on then, but it was a tip ball and they caught it, but nothing happened. The defense stopped them and they scored no points off of it. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Thank goodness. As I said, Williams passing wasn't a stellar game, but who cares, because he did it when it counted. And he was 17 of 36, which is not a great percentage, but he had a touchdown and he had an interception, which we talked about that. So half on him, half on the tip, right? And half on Ben for calling a bad call, and he was sacked twice. But those guys were in his face all day, too, and they were chasing him. And that one run where he had to get a first down and they were chasing him, he ran his ass off 11 yards to get a touchdown. That was just a thing of beauty watching him do that. So congratulations, Cabe. Another keeping the team calm. They're listening to you. They're believing in you, and it's showing, isn't it, each week? Yes, Cabe, he overthrew a couple guys again, but we're going to work on those things. Those things are workable, and if that is his biggest bugaboo, it will get better. Our running backs, I mean, damn. I love it. You know how I talk about the run game. I've been talking about it all year. I've been talking about it for the last 6 years on my show and how important it is. And did it not show up yesterday? Kyle Amungai, our number 25, our rookie, 130 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. Swift, 125 yards rushing on the ground with a touchdown. And these guys, I mean, you know what? I was on Swift in the beginning of the season. I didn't like it, but after the bye, he has stepped up and he's coming, and that has a lot to do, which we're going to talk about, the offensive line. And but these guys, and I like the rookie number 25, Kyle Amungai. I've told you that. This guy, he does not stop. There was one point where they had stopped him on 2 yards, and you could see the camera, and the players were trying to help push him, but you could see his feet still moving, and he got another couple yards out of it. He should have only gotten 2, and he got 4. And that just says a lot about this kid. Again, he is the power back, where he can run up the middle, he can knock guys down, and he can carry guys. Swift, they're starting to use him the way they should. He's more of a finesse outside guy and use him as a catcher to a receiver, and that's what's happening. And they both ran with passion, and that running game is the what chews up the time of possession, and it wears down their defense. And you could see by the fourth quarter that defense looked defeated. And the reason I recognize that is because we have seen that many a times on our defense, so we know what it looks like. But awesome. I mean, 281 yards. It is just insane. And and there was a couple other people. Williams ran for some, so there's more yards there. But the running game, if we can continue to keep that going, and you can start gashing these defenses, and you keep the opposing team's offense off the field, if you can control that clock, it is just everything. It just is, and they proved it yesterday on national TV in front of the whole damn world. For once, we look like a real NFL team. Clement, he was our leading receiver. He spread the ball around a lot. Clement at 36 yards. Great. I love our tight ends. You know him and Loveland. Clement 85, Loveland 84. Clement had 36 yards with that great touchdown. We're going to talk about that, how important that was. Number 10, Burden, our rookie wide receiver, had 33 yards, and he was running, too. He had a couple nice, really good runs. They handed off to him. 84, Loveland, I said, 28 yards receiving. OZ was back in there yesterday, number 14. He had 19 yards. Moore had 17, and Swift had 8 passing yards. So he really spread it around, and everybody did their thing. It was just a thing of beauty. So our top tacklers on defense, Brisker, number 9. I love seeing him. He was all over the field yesterday, 11 tackles. Number 31, Abard, 10 tackles with an interception. Right on. Number 26, Wright. He had 9 tackles and a forced fumble, and we're going to talk about that one too. I'm going to talk about 2 game changers in this game, and that was one of them. So, yeah, I mean, and when Bard, but the only unfortunate part was when number 31, Bide, got that interception. Unfortunately, the defense kind of sputtered out and got no points from that. But we did get points on the forced fumble by number 26, right. The offense had a real nice drive because they started at their 10-yard line because that's where the fumble happened on Philadelphia's 10-yard line because they were trying to score. And so we had a nice drive, went all the way down, and our rookie Kyle Mungai had a rushing touchdown. It was a thing of beauty. So we didn't score on the interception, but the defense stopped them, but we did on the forced fumble, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. It was just, it's so nice talking about all these good things. You know, I take notes during the games, of course, so I can do my shows, and it's usually a lot of pages, and there's, because I have markers, I put, yellow is bad, green is good, and there's always a lot more yellow than green on those, but not yesterday. I didn't have to take a lot of notes because it was just so easy. Hell of a lot easier to write a show on a winning team. The game balls went to, and they should have, number 26 right on that forced fumble on 4th and 1, and they were on their 10-yard line. And if Philadelphia had scored, it could be a lot different because at that point the game was 10-9, and they score. They get that first down and then go in to score. Things could have been a lot different. So that forced fumble was huge on the Philadelphia push or whatever the hell they call it, push, I don't know. But Wright did a really good thing, and they said they've been working on this because everybody's up the middle and they're trying to do it. He came around, and no one blocked him because everybody was up in the middle here. He comes around, gets there, and he knocked that ball out. Hurts never even saw him coming. It was just fantastic. Right? This guy, please sign him now. Do not let this guy get away because he only had a 1-year contract, I'm pretty sure. So the Bears should be doing it right now. While we can. Do not let him get away, Poles. I mean it. And then the second game balls went to the O-line, which so deserved it. They've been getting each week better and better and better. Remember in the beginning of the season, I said this is one of the hardest. The next one is the D-line, but the O-line, for these guys to come together, and they're all new except for Darnell Wright, and who is awesome. But these guys, it takes a while to really work together. Like I said, they have to think each other's thoughts. They have to complete each other's sentences. You know what I mean? And that's what a good offensive line does. And each week, it's gotten better and better. And look what it did on yesterday. And let's just hope they haven't even reached their peak, because if we can get this game, and they gave up 2 sacks, but Philadelphia was in his face all day, okay? So that's just, it unfortunately happens, but we don't care. They so deserve that game ball. 281 yards rushing, and that has a lot to do with the offensive line. They were opening holes, and our running backs, which was really nice to see, they were seeing them. They'd go one way, and all of a sudden they'd be like, oh my God, some of those holes I could have run through. So, you know what? This line is just becoming so impressive, and you see how important it is. I've been saying it for how many last years? Poles really ignored this for the last few years. He finally got it in his head. Yeah, I need to get offensive linemen, and he did last year, mostly in free agency, went out and got. And you know what? Stay healthy, guys, because you guys rock. I mean, they really, really do. I can't say enough about them. I don't think they get their props. I mean, they may back in Illinois. Like I said, I don't hear a lot, but these guys are awesome. And they're getting the penalties are coming down. They're not doing holding. They're not doing those false starts anymore. So this is just getting better and better. Here, I kind of said already, but these are the game changers. Totally, without these 2 plays, Bears probably don't win the game. Right? On that forced fumble, he stopped them. They were driving down the field. The score was 10-9. He gets that forced fumble. The Bears get the ball, go down 90 yards, and score a touchdown. 17-9. Then late in the fourth quarter, gosh, I don't know, it was 5 minutes, 6 or 5 minutes, and Williams hit Clement. It was a great throw and a great catch, and that to me was just sealed the deal. And that because the score, it was 17-9 at that point. Once they got that, then it was 24-9, and you're like, okay, even if they score another touchdown, time's running out, we got it. So both of them. I mean, it was a great throw. He was going to do his check down. He said he was going to throw it to Swift, which would have only gotten him like 10 yards. But then all of a sudden, in the corner of his eye, he saw Clement getting free, and he whipped it to him, touchdown. It was phenomenal. And those two plays, definitely game changers. And when can we say that about the Bears, right? And you know what? Everybody did their part on the offensive yesterday. The wide receivers, the tight ends. I saw a couple wide receivers blocking when the running backs were. I saw Rome doing it a couple times, and that's what you want to see. You gotta do everything. The wide receivers are not just there to catch the ball. You gotta tackle too and block, and they did. So congratulations to the offense of the Chicago Bears. Now the defense. The D had a really, really good game, and it doesn't necessarily show in the box score, but the D line, and I've talked about this too, if you can't sack him, just get in his face all day, make him uncomfortable, and that's exactly what they did. They almost had him a couple times, but it didn't matter. They were in his face. They made him throw an interception. They made him uncomfortable. He wasn't completing the passes. He was throwing them too quickly, which was causing underthrows, overthrows, because he was uncomfortable. And he just, and it showed. And that's why some of these stats for the D-line doesn't show, but they had a hell of a game. And it also helps that you have J.J. Gordon in the backfield again. So the line knows, okay, we've got our guys back again. So, if he does get the pass off, they're going to do it. And you know what? They didn't talk about these guys a lot, but the fact that he couldn't hit, he got A.J. Brown, twice, but, I mean, he could have had, A.J. Brown for 4 or 5 touchdowns. Our guys were in there doing their thing, and they made him uncomfortable, and that's exactly what you need to do. And the D-line is coming together and getting better and better each week. You see them all in there. Booker was contributing. Garrett, number 50. I don't think that guy gets a lot of credit. He was hurt in the beginning of the season. Now he's making plays after plays. He's 50, Garrett. And unfortunately, who went out? Billings, I think, right? He went out with a concussion, so we don't want to hear that. But these guys, Swift was in there. Swift. You know what? I apologize. Whenever I'm talking about Sweat, I swear to God, I always call him Swift. I don't do it the other way around, but for some reason, that's just the pickled old lady brain. Sorry, guys. And if you've been watching me for the whole 6 years, you know what I mean. Right? So, the defense. And you know what? This team is just better and better each week. They're cutting down. Defense had a couple penalties that hurt them, but again, 4 penalties. I can live with that. 5 or less, you're good. But it just was such a complete game. There were some good punts from Taylor. Santos had a good day. They couldn't do a lot of long field goals because the wind was gusting up to 37 miles an hour, and that hurt the passing game for both quarterbacks for sure. So that's why the run game for the Bears was huge. They don't get that run game, completely different game. Something that I heard, and I did look it up to make sure it was true, and it is absolutely. This is the first time the Bears have had 2 running backs run for over 100 yards in a game. And can you guess when the last time was? 1985. Walter Payton and Matt Suhey. I know. Now, this does not mean we were a 1985 Super Bowl team now, because first of all, those teams completely different. Because number one, our defense was damn scary back in the 80s, back at that time. And you can't even play football like that. But I will tell you, quarterbacks and running backs were scared of the Bears' defense because they hit you. But I will tell you, there's two things that are exactly alike on the 85 Bear winning Super Bowl Bears and the 2025 9-3 Bears. Offensive line. The Bears, which I have pictured right here, the Bears offensive line, so good in the mid 80s, and that helps Peyton and Suey do their thing, and it did week in and week out, and that line was phenomenal, and now we have a line like that. So those are the two similarities of the 85 team and the 2005 team, or 2025 team. So, but that's it. So let's not, Super Bowl. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But it is an interesting stat and very cool, right? So, I mean, there's just so much to say, but I got to talk about this. So, I'm sure you all know by now when they have the locker room and, Ben Johnson is telling the team how great they are, giving out green balls. So apparently a hot dog place in the city of Chicago, which I don't know the name of it, but it posted, I guess, a week or two ago that after a win, if Ben Johnson takes off his shirt and celebrates with the Bears, that Monday, free hot dogs for anybody who comes in there. So you could look it up to see if you want to get your free hot dog. So he ripped off his shirt, and this is what he said. He said, "They're hungry for some hot dogs." Oh, no, he said, "Let me tell you something. The city of Chicago is hungry too for victories, and they're hungry for hot dogs." And he goes, and now they're going to get him. So he took off his shirt, and everybody had a blast. And he is right, though. We are damn hungry, and this city and these fans deserve it. So, Ben, right on. I love it. I mean, when have you ever heard a coach talk and act like him? It's been a really long time, probably since Lovie Smith. But Ben Johnson, man, a winner all the way around. I mean, really. And then I want to give Kay Williams a shout out too in his press conference. I mean, you listen to this guy and he's just so poised and mature and honest. When was the last time any of our quarterbacks talked like that? In my era, zero. And I've been watching since 1975. So you can all say, McMahon or Cutler. They never talked like this. Never. This guy, and he's only in his second year and only first year under Ben Johnson, his ceiling is so high. I mean, guys, he's really we're not there yet. Are we ready for the Super Bowl win? I don't think so, but we're getting better each week, and I believe that the Bears are ahead of schedule this year. I really, really do, and that is just going to make the future look brighter, right? Now, the Bears have a lot of work to do because we have 5 tough games next. Green Bay, next Sunday in Green Bay. Cleveland, Green Bay and Soldier Field. 49ers in, I think it's Soldier Field. No, it's in 49ers and then Detroit in Soldier Field. And I got to tell you what, these Packers are going to be coming. These Packers are going to be coming after the Bears next week because they've seen this. They're a game behind us, and they're going to want to take the Bears down. And the Bears, if anything, they have to split. They've got to win one at least. It would be freaking awesome if they won both, wouldn't it? But I'd love to win at home with Green Bay, but it's in Green Bay next week, and it'd be nothing better. And they changed the game. It's a later game, so it's going to be a national game. Nothing better. The Bears do what they did yesterday. Okay? And I won't be doing a show. I always do a pre-show. I won't be doing a pre-show this Friday for Sunday's game because I'm moving that day. I've been in a big move. I'm downsizing from a very big house to a nice little 2-bedroom townhouse with no stairs. I have 17 stairs, and I'm old and I've only got one good leg. So I will be moving Friday, so no show. But real quick, bottom line, the Bears to beat Green Bay in Green Bay next Sunday is to have a near perfect game, if not perfect, like they did yesterday. The Bears cannot make mistakes with them. Green Bay is on a roll. They're starting to win again. They're feeling confident. They're getting players back that were hurt. And they need this win, like we do, but they need it more. Because if the Bears were to lose, we'd be tied with them. And that's not the end of the world, because there would be 4 more games after that. But this is all about, to me, starting to change the narrative of the Green Bay kicking our butts since early 2000s. We had Green Bay's numbers in the 80s and the 90s, and then it flipped, especially when D-Bag Rodgers came on. So the narrative has to change. It's time that the Bears take over and they start winning and beating them all the time. And there's nothing more than a Bears fan wants right now, to beat Green Bay. And you know I'm right. You know I'm right. We want to do it. So offense, you've got to play exactly like you did. You've got to continue that run game, because the more they run, the less Jordan, their quarterback, and their running back, Josh Jacobs, is on the field, because these guys are starting to ball, and we've got to shut them down. And then again, for our D line, they got to do what I say. If you can't sack him, get in his face, make him uncomfortable, hit him, force him to make mistakes, and we can do it. So to win this game, my threes, which I'm changing again, penalties, turnovers, and I'm putting back time of possession. 5 or less penalties, Bears, you're going to be just fine. If you get 2 turnovers by our defense, you'll be good. And if you win that time of possession again, you're going to be good. So if the Bears could do these 3 things, they got a really good chance. Now, I'm seeing everything online now. Bears, Bears, Bears. People finally starting to believe the Bears may be real. And, of course, we're real. But the thing is a lot of guys have said, the smart ones, the announcers say, yeah, in the beginning, they were 0-2, and then they started. It took a while to gel. Again, a whole new coaching staff, a lot of new players, a lot of new, positive thinking, attitudes. Everything has changed. And Ben is going to get him better. And I'm hoping that these guys get how important this Green Bay game is. And I'm pretty sure Ben's got a pretty good rule. You got 24 hours to celebrate. Actually, they got a few more this weekend, because I'm sure they probably don't have to report back until Monday. So they have a couple more days off because they played yesterday on Friday. But Ben is going to get their mindset, and he's going to be like, okay, now that we're winning, when you start winning, it's some ways harder, because you have to keep proving it week in and week out. And that's what the Bears have been doing. They did beat some teams that they should have beaten. And this year is the first time that, let's face it, the last few years, how many times did they say we should beat this opponent and we lost in the last quarter, right? Happened last year almost how many times? We won't talk about that. But this team believes in themselves. They play for 60 minutes, which that is something we have not seen in years. And they just keep playing. Our defense never gave up yesterday. And so for a victory on Sunday against Green Bay in Green Bay, this is exactly how they have to play. And if we could get some more players, like if we could get TJ Edwards back from Lakeville, Illinois. If you don't know why I say that, I'm from Lakeville too. That's where I lived. In Illinois for 33 years or something like that. But if we could get Edwards back, even Swell back, Hyperlight, these guys, if we can get them healthy next week, it would really, really help, because we need, moving forward, everybody on defense healthy and contributing, because it's going to be tough. So Like I said, I won't be here next Friday. I will return the Monday after the Packer Bears game, and I'll be back then. So I am so proud and so happy. I mean, I forgot was winning feels so good, doesn't it? I mean, I was running around the house giddy yesterday when they scored that touchdown command. I was worried. Because you keep teams and you let them hang around. John Madden always said that. You let them hang around long enough, they're going to beat you at the end. And the Bears didn't. That touchdown was a staple. And I felt that sealed the deal. And then when Philadelphia, I thought it was stupid after they scored their touchdown, and instead of taking the extra point, they went for 2 points and they didn't make it. So then it was a two-possession game again. Who cares? We won, right? All right. So, go Bears on Green Bay. Please beat the Packers. But it's not the end of the world if they don't. So remember that. But let's just say beat them down, because the Packers are going to want to beat us down because they don't like that we're beating them. Okay? And they want to go to the playoffs, so they need this. They actually need this game more than we do. And it's at home. So, please, Bears. Please, 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 please beat the Packers. Give this old lady. And plus, I have nothing else to turn gray. My eyebrows turn gray during this season. I'm not kidding. Anyways. Okay, that's it. I've gone on and on and on. Sorry. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm just excited. And I have a buddy, and I want you to watch his show. It's called Bears Country Production. It's a live podcast he does. Check it out. His name is Dan, and he was dancing on his show yesterday. He is another, he just loves them too, and it's just fun. Me and my son, we were just jumping up and down. My grandson was happy. It's just great. So, anyways, I'm done. Awesome, Bears. We're proud of you. Do not let off the gas on that pedal. All right? And again, thank you all for watching. It really, really means a lot. You're the best. And as I always leave my show, be kind. The holidays are here, and everybody always seems to be kinder. But why we can't be the other 11 months of the year that nice, I don't know. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I try to make people laugh. I talk to people. I smile. And that's what we need to do. Just be kind. And think about others, and think before you speak. Love is what it's all about. And Bears fans, we are loving 9-3. Yeah! So you beat Green Bay, beat their asses. And on that note, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. Chicago.